Hello, everyone. Welcome to Inconvenient Truths. I'm your host, Jennifer Zeng. Has World War III started? This is a question many people are asking. Xi Jinping's idol Mao Zedong had a famous saying, "The world needs to be in great chaos before a great order can be achieved." In March this year, Xi Jinping told Russian President Putin, "Right now, there are changes, the likes of which we haven't seen for 100 years, and let's drive these changes together." If we put these two sentences together, we will surely gain a much better understanding of the dazzling big events that have been happening in the world recently. Since Hamas' surprising attack on Israel on October 7th, I have done several shows to expose the direct connections between the CCP, Hamas, and Iran. This information was confirmed by another source, former Peking University professor Yuan Hongbin. He said that the mysterious commander of Hamas, Mohammed Deif, is a key figure contacted by the CCP's International Liaison Department. The CCP has provided Hamas with rocket technology, Huawei communication equipment, and drone remote control technology. The CCP did this using Iran as a cutout. These key factors helped explain Hamas' ability to increase its combat power dramatically in a short period of time. As a matter of fact, the CCP has been supporting terror for decades. Supporting international terror is the CCP's basic policy. CCP Vice Minister of Public Security Meng Hongwei, during his tenure as director of the CCP's Road Control Bureau, was tasked with setting up a number of training camps in China's Hexi Corridor and the Henan Mountains in Ningxia province. The camps were for training Iraqi terrorist guerrillas who would return to Iraq and fight against the U.S. military. The CCP also trained a large number of fighters for the Taliban in Afghanistan at that time. This history of support was one of the reasons why the CCP was able to quickly form a strategic alliance with the Taliban regime in Afghanistan once the Americans left the country. As soon as the Israel-Hamas war erupted, many people immediately asked this question. Hamas is no match for the Israeli army, so why does it dare to attack Israel on such a large scale and in such a manner, given the vast difference in power? The only explanation is that Hamas must have received strong enough support and promises to make such an attack seem like a viable option. Yao Cheng, a former lieutenant colonel in the PLA Navy, pointed out that almost all of the weapons used by Hamas in the October attack were standard weapons. The 5,000 rockets in the first wave of the attack were fired from multiple launchers rather than the single ones used in the past. Homemade rockets cannot cover the distance for 40 kilometers from northern Gaza to Tel Aviv. The long-range rockets and artillery shells are currently only produced by the US, Russia, and China. However, of the three, only the CCP could possibly support Hamas. The US is highly unlikely to support Hamas. Russia is embroiled in the Russia-Ukraine war and is lacking ammunition, requiring support from North Korea. Only the CCP can accomplish such a large production. Further, the PLA hasn't fought a war in over 40 years and has stockpiled large quantities of ammunition, which it spends a great deal of labor and resources to destroy every year. The China North Industrial Group Corporation, which specializes in weapons and arms, also sells large quantities cheaply to the Middle East and Africa all year around. Therefore, Yao Cheng believes that the CCP is the most suspicious. Another good question to ask is, if the war in the Middle East expands, who will benefit the most? Undoubtedly, the answers are Russia, which is caught in the Russia-Ukraine war at the CCP, which has been actively preparing for the war and wants to seize Taiwan. Lu Qiyuan, chairman of the board of directors of Hong Kong's World International Management Consultant Limited, previously worked for the Ministry of Finance of China and China Economic Open Trust Investment Company. Lu is also a teacher at the China Business School of the University of Hong Kong. In April this year, he posted the following on Chinese social media, quote, "The key to solving the Taiwan issue lies in the Middle East. If the U.S. abandons Israel, it will lose dominance in Asia. The U.S. military is fundamentally unable to fight on three fronts, including Russia, Ukraine, Taiwan Strait, and the Middle East. The only thing that can be sacrificed by the U.S. is Taiwan. If Taiwan is not let go, China will forcefully intervene in the Middle East. If there is a sixth Middle East war, just think of U.S. inflection. Biden will really be a failure," unquote. Lu's analysis is not new. Within the CCP system, there has always been a saying that to abolish the global hegemony of the U.S., it is important to focus on the three major battles. For example, one of China's largest web portals, China.com, published an article in April this year titled, quote, "It's very simple to abolish U.S. hegemony. Just eliminate three countries as sacrifices, and then the big picture can be finalized," unquote. The article continued, "To abolish U.S. global hegemony, the focus is on three major battles: the European battle, forcing the European Union to turn around and go against the U.S. through the Ukraine war, and weakening the UK; the Middle East war, forcing Israel to kneel; the East Asian war, forcing Japan and South Korea to surrender. The three countries to be eliminated as sacrifices are the UK, Israel, and Japan," according to this article. The Sina.com article suggests there is no need to rush about Taiwan. The battlefield for the real East Asian battle will be Japan's homeland, especially Tokyo and Japan's industrial belt. If these are destroyed in one fell swoop, all will be well. This can also be seen as a move to save Zhao by besieging Wei. The phrase "save Zhao by besieging Wei" refers to the strategy of attacking a weaker enemy to force a stronger adversary to withdraw. In this context, it suggests that by targeting Japan, the Taiwan issue could be resolved smoothly. This article has not been deleted, indicating that this viewpoint is endorsed by the CCP. Additionally, the CCP's own statements, such as Foreign Minister Wang Yi's criticism on Israel's excessive defense, also indicates its stance. Judging from the current global situation, great chaos in the world is exactly what the CCP and Russia need. This great chaos is to the advantage of others as well. It is along these lines that a new axe of evil led by the CCP with Russia, Iran, and North Korea as its main members has taken shape to take on the free world. The CCP should not be underestimated. It has proven capable of defeating much more powerful adversaries in the past. Founded in 1921, the CCP evolved from an illegal regime that was once very weak and constantly under threat of being annihilated by the ruling Kuomintang to defeating the victorious Kuomintang army right after World War II and then driving the Kuomintang out of mainland China. The CCP achieved this through various unscrupulous tactics of unrestricted warfare. The CCP stopped at nothing and assassinations, staging social incidents to frame others, inciting hatred and chaos, dividing enemies, hiding spies and soldiers among the enemies, using civilians as human shields on the battlefield, and simultaneously using so-called United Front strategies to buy hearts, corrupt, and disintegrate the army. The list of perfidy goes on and on. These shameless methods ultimately allowed the CCP to gain political power. Through repeated practice, the CCP has become very skilled at employing these tactics. In terms of methods, we must never underestimate the evil nature of the CCP. The free world led by the US is fully capable of overwhelmingly defeating the new acts of evil in terms of military and economic power. However, at present, the Western world is seriously divided, and the acts of evil camp adopts the unrestricted warfare method without any moral scruples. This makes the Western world, which has its own moral scruples and principles, fall into a passive position. With the West on its heels, it is really hard to say who will win and who will lose in the end. In our previous show about the CCP's role in the assassination of the Canadian Sheikh Hardeep Singh Nijjar, we revealed that it is part of the CCP's sinister ignition plan to disrupt the world in line with Xi Jinping's military strategy regarding Taiwan. In the short span of time since Hamas brutally attacked Iranians on October 7th, the fire Hamas started and Xi Jinping hoped for has indeed been ignited worldwide. As felt by some commentators, there is no easy solution to the current crisis. Hamas has successfully taken 2 million people in Gaza hostage. Half of the humanitarian aid offered by the international community could end up in the Hamas hands. In the meantime, Xi Jinping and Putin just toasted in Beijing, celebrating the unprecedented changes of the century, which are rapidly unfolding. Well, that's all for now. Please like, share, and comment on my videos. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel or check your subscription status. Additionally, you can visit my website at jenniferzengblog.com for membership or donations to support my work. In these rapidly changing times, I believe independent voices like mine are crucial. Thank you. See you soon.